A great turnout today. I think it's 44 people, so that's great. Thank you all for coming along. Now you can see our little piece of paradise. This is our ground floor apartment. You can see when the sun's not crazy. Would you guys like me to close those things? Let me just close here. It's a little bit hectic out there. There we go.
The other one
Right.
too?
Yeah, that's good. So there we go. There we go, Sean. You can take your sunglasses off. And if anybody's cold, please feel free. So this is our only ground floor apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. It does have an ocean view. We would have loved to have put you up on one of the highest because their views are absolutely stunning. But our lifts are being refurbished at the moment. So getting everybody up and down in one lift would have been a bit of a nightmare. So that's why we chose the ground floor one. But the beauty of Boulevard North is that we're close enough. We literally, Chris and myself, walk to Surfers, to the centre of Surfers in 12 minutes along the walkway, and we're in the centre of town literally in 4 minutes. But we don't put up with any of the noise and the early morning restaurants setting up and everything else. So that's the beauty of it. And literally to Pack Fair, the Star and the conference centre, depending on how fast you walk, it's anywhere between 12 and 20 minutes. And then of course we've got the Bowls Club literally on our doorstep, and at the moment we're hosting about 3 different teams for the Aussie Opens, which are on at the moment. So our location, good morning. So our location really is fantastic, and that's our selling point. Our lady, our complex, is 43 years old. So she is old, and that's the reason why we're having to do our lifts now. $1 million, 6 months worth of work, and 2 very hunky lift mechanics who are looking after it. So, yeah, so as we've said to our guests, don't panic that we've got 1 lift. In a 43-year-old building, we've normally only got 1 lift because one's out of operation. Now we've got 2 engineers on site, so when it goes down, it gets fixed. So in every cloud, there's a silver lining. So what we have in this apartment block is we've got 58 apartments, 1 3-bedroom apartment, which is on the top floor, and then we've got 2-bedroom ocean fronts. In the middle, we've got 1-bedroom apartments, and at the back, we've got what we call our 2-bedroom hinterlands. Lots of people prefer the hinterland. We've got an outside balcony that you can see the ocean, you can see the hinterland, and you can see sunset and sunrise, but they're a little bit quieter because you're not on the main road. So a lot of people love them. Also 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, really lovely apartments. So in our letting pool, we've got this apartment. We've got 12 ocean-facing apartments, 11 1-bedroom, 10 2-bedroom hinterlands, and then the 1 3-bedroom ocean. So we've got 38 apartments. 2 are in our permanent letting pool. Then we have us. Of course, like everything else, as the managers, you're stuck down by the toilets. We right at the back. We have no view, but that's where we are. We've got 10 lock-up units, and a lock-up unit is a unit where the person is fortunate enough to own it, locks it up, and only comes in once every often. And we literally have owners here that we haven't seen for years. So what goes on in the apartments, we've got no idea, but it's called a lockup. And then we've got the bane of our lives, 9 owner-occupiers. And why I call them the bane of our lives is we were built as holiday apartments. We called Boulevard North holiday apartments. When they designed them for short-term stays. Now you've got people who move in, they move in lock, stock and barrel into a very small apartment, and they become really grumpy. And when they've got kids jumping in the pool and people running around, this is my space, this is my bubble, why are you in my bubble? Not realizing that they've actually chosen to be in a holiday letting pool. So for anybody ever wanting to buy an apartment, guys, look at that. It's a very big thing. If you're planning to live in it, buy a residential apartment, not a holiday apartment. So we've got 9 owner-occupiers. We get on exceptionally well with them. They are wonderful people. But also from an insurance point of view, and Craig, I've run this past you, we are only allowed to be involved with apartments that we have a Form 6 for. We cannot, if you're here and we've got a 86-year-old lady who lives in one of our apartments, we can't go and move her furniture. Because if somebody gets hurt while moving her furniture, our insurance doesn't cover us, and neither does our workman's comp. For the reason that we are only allowed to work in apartments with a Form 6. So if any of you live in apartment blocks and you've got residential managers on site, and you kind of go, oh, can you accept this parcel for me? And they say, no, I'm sorry, you can't. They're not being difficult. they are working within the legislation that actually exists. So once again, residential versus holiday, worth knowing those sort of things. So as I say, this is our baby. Chris and the team look after a huge garden. You can see we're on a double block. We're on 3 walkways, which council expects us to look after and maintain, but we're not allowed to cut the trees. We're not allowed to touch the trees, but we can mow their lawn. Go figure. So Chris and the team, really, we mow the lawns in summer twice a week, in winter once a week. We have a sprinkler system that leaks water everywhere and is very soggy. And we have what is created a wind tunnel. The penitentiary next to us wasn't there. It was built 2 years ago. Everybody here calls it the jailhouse. So the jailhouse was built next to us, and because our building's rounded, what has happened is that it pulls the wind in and brings it down this walkway. And Sean, you'll know from a gardening perspective,
not much survives.
Plants do not like high wind. So we've got a body corp who goes, we want nice gardens, but we don't want to spend money, but we've got a wind tunnel. So Chris and the team really do a great job in looking after and maintaining the gardens and things like that, looking after the pool and all the legislation that goes with running management rights, which is extreme. We're governed by 3 different bodies. We're governed by the ATO because we run trust accounts. We get audited 4 times a year. Yeah. And because we're now all on computerized systems, ATO just goes in and literally audits. And you just suddenly find there's been an audit done. Plus, we have private auditors who also audit us 4 times a year. And Office of Fair Trading has the right to come in at any time and audit as well. So we're very controlled from a trust accounting point of view. Ish runs our business accounts for us, and then we have to have a special trust accounting things, and they like them, ATO likes it to be 2 separate entities so that there's no confusion, the business accounting versus the trust accounting. So that's the accounting. Then we're controlled by the accommodation industry. And my gosh, the rules and regulations there are scary. The amount of time you have to give people, the notice you have to give them, like for the lifts, we have to give them sufficient time within our cancellation period to cancel if guests feel they'd like to. So we're controlled by that. And then, of course, we're controlled by strata. And that in itself is an entire web that, in quite honestly, coming from another country, I think the strata rules here they're onerous, they're contradictory. Nobody kind of understands them, and it really is. It's quite interesting. And very often, in the 3, there's actually conflicts. So you've got to kind of go, we'll choose to use this one because that's the one that kind of seems the most logical. So it's a very interesting industry to be in. It certainly stimulates Chris and myself. Chris is a civil engineer whose speciality is waste management, and he really misses his office with his formulas and his boxes, and everything works, and he knows that these are the formulas you apply to this. Somehow he can't apply those formulas and things to guests and body corp owners and things like that. So so it's really out of his comfort zone to be in that industry. And of course, I come from a very advertising, marketing, PR, being out there, being loud, being colourful, being blingy. And you've got these owners who have been owned here for 43 years, and they're like, you want to do what? And, you know, they're also very boxed, and this isn't how we do it. This isn't how we haven't done it for the last 43 years. Well, mate, have you looked around? You've been from a tap typewriter to a golf ball typewriter to a computer, to a laptop, to a phone that's a computer. You know, things change. You've got to move with it. So it's a very, very interesting area to be in. Chris and myself have been forced to grow immensely. But having said that, the management right industry is filled with wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people who really have been our backbone. We have made so many friends. We have experienced so much, and it's now wonderful because we've now been in the industry. In October it'll be 5 years, and it's now wonderful in the industry to be able to actually be mentoring and assisting newbies coming into the industry. The industry is kind of more a senior industry And I say that with the greatest of respect. It's normally when people have worked, they've now looked around and said, we want a lifestyle change. And they think that management rights is going to be a lifestyle change. We were sold the dream. Yeah, we were sold the dream. We were told how we're just going to come in and we're going to do a couple of hours work a day and we're going to go and spend it on the beach. And boy, we were sold this dream, and you get here and you're working 24 hours, 7 days a week. People are knocking on your doors. They're locking themselves out. The dog's barking. Somebody across the road's having a party. The best complaint I've had since I've been here was my older couple that I referred to earlier, who live right up on the 18th floor. And across the way, we've got a very nice apartment block, and they look down into the jacuzzi. And I got this phone call to say, Marion, the jacuzzi next door's got mosquitoes. And I said, that's absolutely wonderful. And they went, it is? I said, what would you like me to do about it? And they said, do you need to go and sort the mosquitoes out? I said, honey, that's a private property. I have no right there. Have you spoken to their on-site management? No, you must. I don't see the mosquitoes, honey. The mosquitoes are nothing to do with Boulevard North. Couldn't understand that. Then 3 days later, I got a phone call, Ocean Royal across the road. There's people drinking beers at 9 o'clock in the morning. You must go and stop them. I said, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's beer time somewhere in the world. They're on holiday. They're enjoying themselves. They're having fun. Would you like me to bring you a beer so you can join them? No, you must go and stop it. So these are the type of interesting things you put up with. We had one owner here. She was lovely. She actually lives in the Bahamas now. And she heard a puppy crying. And somebody had brought a puppy on site. She went in, she got herself a key. She got into the apartment and she took the dog. She took the dog and she took it into her apartment. And then she thought, I wonder if I should have done that. So 11 o'clock at night, she phoned Chris and myself. She said, I need to come down and see you. Okay, come down and see him. We're in our PJ. She comes down with this dog. She goes, I've taken this dog. I'm going, where did you take this dog from? The apartment next door. How did you get into the apartment? No, the previous owners, the previous management rights gave me this key, and this key opens everywhere. And I went in and I took the dog. Well, give me the key, because you shouldn't have that. That's illegal, so let's take away that problem. You better take this dog back. Well, what happens if I get them, the people are there? Well, then you've got to knock on their door and tell them you've kidnapped the dog, and can you please give the dog back? So those are the type of things, and my promise is when I'm finished this... She managed to slip the dog back before the people got back. She managed to slip it in. And the next day, the people came down and I said, honey, your dog's crying. Please, if you can keep the dog from crying, because we've got a person who lives very close by who gets very upset when dogs cry. I thought, you kidnapped your dog. But I can promise you, when this job is finished and over, I'm going to write a book. I'm going to, you get the chicken soul books. Yeah, we're going to call it Management Rights Soul, because the stories that people can tell in the industry is absolutely amazing.
Wait until you retire.
Yeah, good. No time. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah, and then obviously our biggest challenge in being in this industry is getting staff. Getting good staff who can put up with the amazing challenges that being at the front desk involves is quite amazing. And then obviously our team. Chris has got a really, really good team now. And at the moment it's working, but everything's up, down and in between, and suddenly you get a phone call, no, I'm not coming in today, I'm not coming in for a week. Becomes difficult. But overall, we love Boulevard North. We love the idiosyncrasies and the characters that we deal with. The other difficult thing for me, I come out of a property management background, and I always dealt with people, and I dealt with body corps and shareholders and directors and banks and big property management companies, and they're difficult, make no mistake, but you could always bring everybody back to business. You could say, guys, this is a business, these are the decisions we need to make, this is the logic behind the decisions, and this is what we do. And when I came on site and I kind of started getting involved here, it didn't work. That management style simply didn't work. And I couldn't figure out why it didn't work until one day I had an aha moment. Strata is built on ego. And there's no debating or arguing ego. A person's, it's their apartment, it's what they want, it's what's good for them. And then when you have to say, but hold on, we have to look after the building as a whole. No. It's only my apartment. So it's very ego-based. And then, of course, we have a whole lot of people on our body corp, and with respect to our males in the room, they're crusty old men who are used to being and having secretaries running around and doing this for them and doing that for them. So they come downstairs and say, fax this. Honey, faxes flew out the door ages ago. It's now an email. Here's the guy's email address. Email him. No, I'm not doing emails. You know, and they kind of come down and just expect you to offer them these services, and you're like going, sorry, can't be doing that. So it's truly an interesting industry, but lots of fun, lots of new people coming into the industry. In Broadbeach, we've got 13 new developments going up at the moment. 13. It's huge, just in Broadbeach. So lots of new developments happening, and there'll be lots of new faces in our industry. So thank you for coming and sharing Boulevard North with us. Just a bit of housekeeping. If you need the bathroom, you go straight down where the passage stops, you turn right, and you'll see the door on your right. Afterwards, we've got some snacks and some champagne and orange juice for anybody who'd like. And then for those of you who need your coffee kick and your caffeine, I've got a voucher here. Please collect it. And you literally walk straight down the road. You walk past the surf club. It's 2 minutes away. And on the left is a little place called Art Cafe.
It's a cute little cafe.
It's a lovely, cute little cafe.
The coffee's not as good as it.
No. That's my meeting space. Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I don't drink coffee, but that's my meeting room. We don't have meeting space here, so that's where I meet everybody. So they are doing that. And thank you all very much for your time.